My name is Stephanie Jallen, and I ski for the United States Paralympic Alpine Ski Team. This started back when I was 9 years old. I was invited to a Learn to Ski camp for young disabled children, and since then it was a runaway freight train, and here I am today, 11 years later, living my dream. So I was born with a very rare congenital birth defect. It's called CHILDS, is the acronym for congenital hemidysplasia ichthyosis limb disorder defect syndrome. So pretty much all it means is the entire left side of my body is underdeveloped. So it definitely has limited me in some things, but I grew up in a wonderful family who never let anything hold me back, and I was raised just like any other kid. So I learned how to adapt, and this is normal to me. So as an athlete, we get to travel a lot. I travel to many countries, many different times of the year, and it's wonderful and I love to do it. However, we're usually not there long enough or have enough free time to really experience the culture. So I am absolutely ecstatic that I'm here today, hiking the beautiful trails up to the temples in South Korea, and thinking to myself that I get to soak this all up. Courage is looking down at something terrifying and taking that next step forward anyway. I remember skiing being very difficult in the beginning. I hated leaving home. I thought that travel was very difficult. Everything seemed to be a struggle. And it wasn't until I made the United States team when I was 15 years old that everything started to fall into place. I started racing internationally, and it was when I was over in Europe racing against the best athletes in the world, and I stood right beside them. And I remember I finished, and I remember I did really well, and I thought to myself, I know I want to make this my career. We were competing in New Zealand, and it was a very big race for us. Our coaches told us, if you can make the podium in any of these World Cup races, you have a great chance of going to the Paralympics. So I put all this pressure on myself. I told myself, I'm ready to go, I can get this. And when we were in the starting gates all 5 days, I didn't finish a single race. And I thought to myself, I blew my moment, what do I do? I remember we had one more World Cup race to go to after that New Zealand block, and it was in Australia. And I talked to my mom a lot and my trainers back home, and they said, do the best that you can do. It is okay that you have fallen down, but get back up. In the starting gate in Australia, with every doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to be able to do it because I failed before, but I pushed that aside. I told myself, I am human and it is okay to fall. And I skied the best I could, the fastest I could, and I had my very first World Cup silver medal and my ticket to Sochi. In life, there's a lot of things that are really easy to fail at, whether simply you didn't pay a car payment, or your family life has somewhat fallen apart, or you have lost touch with your kids, or you feel like you have failed an exam. To get out of that failure is something that takes more than just saying, I'm going to get back up, telling yourself, yes, I can do it. You need to dig down into the deepest part of your own soul and believe that you can do it. And it's a very difficult thing to do, and a lot of people don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept that they failed, but that is okay. Failing is fine, as long as there's success afterwards. So in competition, I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders because I know a lot of people are watching. So I feel the need to do my best every time I do, and it drives me to be better. So it's a good thing, but it is a lot of pressure. What I'm looking forward to most coming up is being the best athlete that I could be. In 2014, my debut in my first Paralympics was both a miracle and a blessing. It was unexpected for me to get on the podium. I didn't have a lot of pressure on myself, and I just did what I knew how to do. And I want to translate a lot of that to the upcoming games, and to know that I'm strong enough and I have trained hard enough to be a competitor and to make this the best games possible. And I think as long as you don't look at the negatives in your life and you learn to be positive, then you're able to do anything.